So do you think NSMQ has like mass influence in our education? Let's take the favorite subject that people usually don't do, or let's take commerce. And you have just 3 days, or let's say a night, to write a paper. Which topic do you revise? Like, do you have that kind of like maybe which topic that you feel like no, you have to revise before you go on stage? Because welcome to One to One Academy. I'm Jojo. I'm here with
Steven Kofiap Maba.
all right. So we are going to be having a very solid interview here today, and I want you guys to stay with us to the end of the interview. So first, I want to ask, why is NSMQ so popular in Ghana?
I think it's to the general public, it's more of like an entertainment more than an educational platform. But to the students and to most of the people as well, it's an educational platform which makes it interesting for studies.
Okay. So do you think NSMQ has like mass influence in our education?
Yeah, it really does. I think it gives students the motivation to study because they see people up there and they want to be like them, they look up to them. So it gives them the motivation to study, it builds up their academic career.
Okay. So how do you think like we can leverage on the NSMQ to help students in SHS?
Think from the NSMQ, it sort of gives like the children or the students the opportunity to represent their schools. It gives them like
Sure.
a platform to be able to showcase their brilliance. So we can use the NSMQ as a platform to like educate children on how to show their talents, how to show their academic progress
Oh,
on the
okay.
national television.
Okay, that's nice. So also I also want to ask, when did you develop this love for national science and maths, please? Or which stage of your life did you start to put in that interest? Because I know you started preparation like way back before you even entered SHS.
Mm.
So when do you start?
Okay, so I'd say my quiz career started in my primary school.
Primary
Like,
school.
yeah,
Okay.
that's when I started enjoying academic competitions. Then the NSMQ came in when I was in GHS 3, getting to Form 1. That's when I had the interest to join the NSMQ.
Okay. So is it that your dad influenced you, or you had a senior brother who was also watching NSMQ and the person introduced you, or randomly? Because usually we all have stories. So how is it that your own, like, why is it that as a JHS, as a JHS primary, you started showing much interest in NSMQ?
Okay, I think it was sort of the influence from my friends.
Friends,
In
okay.
GHS, we used to watch a lot of the contests. Yeah,
Okay.
so we would try to sort of compete against ourselves. We would watch the most contests and we'll come back to like memorize those stuff and come and just pour it out. Yeah, so that built the interest.
Okay, that's nice. So do you think that because you did JSMQ in JHS, that's why like there was a high probability that you could do NSMQ in SHS?
Yeah, it really helped because the JSMQ helped me study ahead of the JHS syllabus
Okay.
and into the SHS syllabus. So by the time I go to SHS 1, I was
Oh,
quite
okay.
a little ahead.
But did you believe in yourself that first year, as in SHS one, first year, you sit on stage?
Nah, I wasn't expecting it
Wasn't
until like
expecting
two
it.
weeks before the national championship.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so which two, or throughout your education career in both JHS and SHS, which two like really helped you when it comes to like AI? Which AI tool did you use? Because I think throughout your preparation there was AI and all those things. And how do you think that AI tool can help like other SHS people study?
Okay, so I think during my SHS period, ChatGPT was like the major platform.
Okay.
Yeah, so GPT helped a lot. And the best way I was able to use it was like it helps to think alongside you. So you feed it with questions or with prompts and it gives you answers.
Okay.
So nowadays, I think the best one would be Claude, but
Good.
yeah, GPT was the best then.
Then
So
okay. Sure.
AIs are generally used.
So can you mention like a topic that made you understand that you understood like perfectly because you used AI to do it?
Yeah, chemistry. I think uh, chemistry is so broad. Like chemistry helped me in chemistry as a whole topic, but I don't
Okay.
know if there's a specific one that I totally understood.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
yeah, all of them were helpful.
That's nice. So, what do you think about Wassce too? How do you think AI can help people in their preparation for Wassce?
Okay, so
and
The,
let me say NOVDEC too as well.
yeah. So the Wassce is sort of like a development on the of the past questions that they bring. So
Okay.
you can sort of use AI to develop questions from the database of the past questions that
Okay.
are already there, so
Okay.
that you can predict the questions that are coming in the Wassce, and even from the syllabus as well.
Okay. So, and there's this thing in SHS about, let me say, social media. Um, did social media really distract you, or or you were someone who was like you're a nerd? As for you, you are not on social media, or you are someone who you knew how to control. What do you think you should say about how social media are impacting the SHS students now?
Okay, so yeah, I think at some point I was sort of influenced by social
Social
media,
media.
but
Oh, okay.
the main thing is to build the discipline.
Sure.
Because if you don't know what you want to get at the end of the day, then you are going to be easily sidetracked at one point. So you have to set a goal for yourself, and you have to know that at the end of the day, this is what I want to get, so that you keep your focus on that particular thing. Else you'll be sidetracked by social media
Social
every
media.
day. Yeah.
Okay. So you believe kids should watch how they use social media because it really has influence. It really have influence on their education, right?
Yeah, it really does. It takes a lot of time.
Time. So okay, then that's good. So assuming you were preparing for Wassce and you just have few days to, let me say, go to the Wassce room. Let's take the favorite subject that people usually don't do, or let's take commerce, and you have just 3 days or let's say a night to write a paper. Which topic will you revise, and why? And why is it that you revise that topic before you go to the exam hall?
Okay, so core maths, I'll say circle theorem or geometry as a whole,
Okay.
mensuration, and then statistics.
Okay.
Those three, they are very important, and they sort of carry huge marks
Okay,
in the
Max.
core
Okay.
maths.
Yeah. And I think from the recent data, we saw a lot of failures from the commerce, especially. So, do you have any reason why that happened, or will you give any suggestion on how we can improve something like that?
Okay, so I think most students see math as something that is like formula work, and not as
Okay.
something that involves a lot of critical
Critical
thinking.
thinking.
So what WIC is trying to do nowadays is create questions that involve critical thinking on the formula that you've studied as well. So I think the best way to attack that problem is to sort of approach core maths as a critical thinking subject. So you study the formula, then you also solve a lot of questions on it,
Okay.
which will help you think about the formula and
Okay.
understand it.
Okay. So this is something for those who are going to write their Wassce. You have to make sure that you do what you focus on critical thinking maths, not just formula work, because now commerce is now it's not the old commerce we used to know where it's formulas, you just do that. But you have to what? You have to think critically. Yeah. And about your NSMQ journey or NSMQ experience, you did from first year, second year, third year, and I want to say congratulations because someone to carry the school first year, second year, third year, you really, really done very well. So, what
Thank you.
advice are you going to tell someone who wants to be an NSMQ student, or someone who is like very eager to become an NSMQ student?
Okay, I would say the responsibility is high.
Yeah.
So that means that there's also going to be a lot of you also have to build yourself up a lot more
Oh,
to
nice.
be able to take that responsibility. So that means that you have to sacrifice a few things. And
Okay.
since it's a huge goal, that means that you have a huge responsibility as well.
As well.
So study a lot, read a lot, and as much as possible practice, because
Okay.
practice is the basics of the
Yeah.
NSF.
So people usually say Bella boys are usually the nerd type. As for them, they don't do anything apart from learning. They don't even have a life. Let me say. So is it true? Like, is it actually true?
Yeah, it's a very broad misconception, but
Mm,
I think it's totally false. Most of the quiz boys that I know, like
yeah.
they like to fool a lot.
Explain.
Yeah, yeah, we all like to fool, like
Okay.
everybody. So we all have a social life,
Social
but I
life. Yeah.
think the part that comes out is the nerdy part,
The
which is the
nerdy part.
NSMQ. Yeah, so yeah, I
Okay.
think it's false.
Okay. Then please, you don't have to be a nerd before you join Bella. You have to make sure you focus on your social life too as well. You shouldn't. It's not every time book. You have to get a social life. That's what Steven is actually saying. Yeah. So with NSMQ, um, I know you have been writing some plenty things on your sheet and all those things. So yeah, I wanted to ask if you have like few minutes to go on stage. So let's take the final like this. You had just few minutes to go on stage. Like what things are you going to say in your mind, or what formulas, or what uh, definitions are you going to keep before you enter that stage, or what do you even think about before you even enter that stage?
Okay, so first of all, you have to calm down and like
Okay,
try to relax.
okay,
Then when you go, you have to write a few things down. So
sure.
try as much as possible before you step on the stage. You have to try and remember all the things that you've studied
Yeah.
throughout all your past contests. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to keep a mental note of it a day before you
Day
memorize it
before.
so that
Okay.
you don't forget it the day.
Okay. So there's no like specific topic, like maybe more concept, maybe because everybody has like where maybe the weaknesses or something. Maybe somebody before the person will go on stage, the person has this topic that I have to revise it because if it comes, usually it's some way to me.
Yeah.
Like, do you have that kind of like maybe weak topic that you feel like no, you have to revise it before you go on stage because the way it is some way.
Yeah, I think for every student, there's going to be a certain topic that you are going to have difficulty in.
Okay.
So before the contest, you have to try as much as possible to revise it. And even if you can't revise it the day before, try to create some notes so that
Okay.
before you sit on that stage, you're able to write those notes down so that at least it's not in memory but it's written so that you'll be able to refer to them directly.
Okay. Yeah. I also wanted to ask which, let me say, Ghanaian scientist has also inspired you, or if you don't have any Ghanaian scientists, you can also give uh, an American or a white scientist that has inspired you throughout
Yeah.
your this one.
Well, the Ghanaian scientists, there are so many. I think
Okay.
all the NSMQ quiz masters and quiz mistresses are they are all my
Okay.
role models. Yeah,
Okay, that's
there was
nice.
Kaufman especially.
Oh,
Then
that's
there's
nice.
also Professor Aluki.
Okay.
Then for the I think the foreign ones, Benjamin Carson or Ben
Okay.
Carson. There's also Benjamin Franklin as well.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. So, what last words do you have for the SHS students right now, because you are kind of like a big influence to them. Because when you tell them to go and learn right now, they'll actually go and learn because your influence is like very much. So what like last words do you have for them in this interview?
So my last words are like learn as much as possible, but as much as you learn, also try to enjoy your social life because
Okay,
there's life after Wassce, there's life
sure.
after SHS. So yeah, you have to learn, read a lot of books. A lot of books aside from your Wassce books as well, because it helps open your mind as well. Yeah, those are my few words.
There's this misconception that online classes is usually not the best, let me say. But we all know that oh, now these days the world is moving fast, and let me say a lot of people are benefiting from online classes, and we've introduced one to one. So what are you going to say about one to one? Because what we are trying to do is to bridge the gap between SHS and past quiz students. So what are you going to say about one to one, and how do you think it's going to actually benefit the students?
Okay, so I'll say one-to-one is like the best online platform for Wassce preparing students in
Okay,
SHS and also for quiz students as well,
okay,
because it's like a bridge between Wassce students and the NSMQ pass contestants,
okay,
so that you'll be able to learn as much as possible as you want from them.
okay.
I'm personally a physics tutor there, and I I teach like concepts in physics, right? So you get to understand the concepts as they are, and also how they apply to the Wassce syllabus as well.
Okay.
And you'll be able to like learn a few tricks or shortcuts
So,
for the NSMQ.
sure. So he spoke about one to one, and I also want to add my own. So when during the interview, we spoke about how the NSMQ like it has a very big influence on our SHS education. So that's the reason why one to one came about. Because if quiz students are able to influence you, then surely in your education they're also able to, they'll be able to influence you to also pass or to excel in your WASI. And if you are interested in joining Olympiads or becoming NSMQ and everything, they are there to mentorship you and give you all those things.